So, hello everyone who is watching this. Today's interview is with a very gorgeous and a woman I really appreciate and personally admire as well. Her name is Kelly. Hello,
Hi.
Kelly. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, Kelly is an amazing success story, an inspiring woman who, in my opinion, literally did like a complete 180 in her relationship and went from breaking up with her man to getting ready to get married with him and wearing his ring. And she's also going to become a mother. So she's going to have a Wunder love baby. That's how we call all these babies from these Wunder work relationships. So I'm very excited to bring Kelly and to have her share her story with you because I think it's very inspiring to see a woman go the whole 180 and turn everything around and then have the most amazing, juicy, honey sticky love, as we call it. So, Kelly, thank you. I really appreciate you showing up and doing this for us.
No problem. It's good to be here because it really was a 180 that I didn't think was possible when I first started.
So, Kelly, do you want to share with the ladies where were you first when you came to me?
Yes, when I
You
first,
remember? I remember.
I think it was November 2016. It was a year ago,
Yeah.
and I was really unhappy because I didn't know your work, so I didn't know anything before, but I was really unhappy in my relationship. I felt I wasn't getting attention, love. I felt heartbroken because I couldn't understand why. Um, it was the end for me. It was the end of, I'd given up all hope on the relationship, and my self-esteem and my energy was really low. So yeah, when I first started, I didn't really see a way out, and I was just really sad that the relationship, I didn't understand what had happened and how it had ended that way.
And I remember I offered to meet on private sessions, and it was quite an investment to go for in the first space. Like, bam, bam,
Yeah.
lots of money, but you did it. And I remember you showing up on the session, and you were not in a good space. I mean, we did a lot of emotional tools, and we did a lot of like understanding of what was energetically happening between the two of you. And for me, I was really proud because my recommendations and suggestions to you were not easy, but you really listened and you really implemented them, even though they were so hard.
I remember the calls, like just crying so much because some of the tools that you gave me, as you said, they made me realize how much I was in my masculine and leading the relationship and pushing and demanding. And I look back now and just think, I can't believe I didn't know, I didn't have that awareness. But yeah, they were really tough, like the tough love, I guess, because you really showed me what was really going on. And yeah, like the challenge was to leave because really there was no way there was no way to go. It was either keep trying this. I think you said originally try for 3 months and be in your feminine, but because I was so fed up, I decided to leave. And yeah, you were like, well, it's not talking about it, it's doing it. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And those decisions, I think they're so hard for women to implement. And even though, sometimes we know deep inside ourselves we need to leave or we need to break up, we need someone else to like, you know, make us do that final step, make us do it, to have that strength to collect ourselves to finally do something like that. Because in the moment, even though it is the right thing for us, it feels very drastic and it feels like a broken dream. Like it's not, it's a dream broken. It's years of investment broken. It's years of investment gone down the drain. And I remember telling you, if he's the man for you, this is actually going to bring him back. You won't lose him. Yeah.
Yes, I
Remember?
remember you kept saying that, and I was going, she doesn't know him, she doesn't know him, but okay, I'm just going to do it anyway, because I was so fed up. I couldn't stay where I was.
Yeah.
And I remember we were messaging each other, and you were like, well, book the ticket. I was like, what? I booked the ticket. And I remember it was, you know, an investment, because I had a car and I had a dog. It was a big thing to do that. I was like, I'm going to book it? Yeah, book it now. Okay. I was going on the internet and booking it and thinking, I can't believe I'm booking my ticket. But it's about, I realized, showing that I meant business, and I wanted the marriage, the story, and I wasn't going to settle for less. And I had to do that. And yeah, when you said he's going to come back, I was thinking he's not. And he did like 1,000 times more than just coming back. He really showed himself.
Kelly, were there times in the coaching and during the coaching process that you actually felt like Sami is just saying this is not going to happen? Or did you have those moments of doubt where you were like, yeah, she's saying this because she doesn't know my man and she doesn't know how, stubborn he is or what a lazy ass he is. Sorry for the language. Yeah. So did you have those moments?
Yeah, I did have those moments where I'm going to do it because I was so desperate, but I was just thinking, yeah, Sami doesn't know my man, and he's just not going to do that. He's never chased after anyone before. He's Mr. Lord Muck who just sits back there and expects a lot of women to chase after him like they have done in the past. So he's not going to do this. It's not in his culture.
Yeah. And I think this is so brilliant that we talk about this, because I think a lot of the women out there, even when they come to an expert for advice, they sort of resist the advice. And they're like, no, because there is still, we're all learning how to surrender and give up control. And yet, even in the coaching relationship, sometimes, that tendency to control and be the one who calls the shots comes up. Yeah. So even though we pay heaps of money to the coach to actually advise us, when the coach advises us, there is this resistance even to the advice. You didn't do that because you followed every step of the way. I mean, you didn't let those voices sabotage you. But there are a lot of people to whom that can happen as well. They're not able to follow through with the advice. There is a resistance to trusting the expert. Yeah, like there are all these ideas, my man is not like that. And what we're doing here is we're doing universal work. We're working with energies of the universe. Masculine, feminine is not something I made up myself. I'm just teaching the laws of the universe and the way complementary relationships work. You want a man to lead, you got to stop leading yourself.
Yeah, that
and
was massive.
So hard.
I was leading so much before and in my previous relationship. So yeah, like that was big, to let go of control. And I really have found the more I let go of control, really the more my man stands up in lots of different ways.
Oh, so tell me, you've been through so many ups and downs. Ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. Yeah. Remember, like, break up and then he wants to come back and then he wants to go away again and then he wants to come back. Did the inner circle support help? Did having a constant group and my advice to turn to help you in this?
Massively, because a lot of my friends and people out there are not familiar with this work.
Yeah.
And so if you speak to friends or my mum, for example, people you normally go to advice for, they're in fear for you and lack of abundance and just they cannot help you. So having people around that are doing the work and implementing it, and even if all they say is, we hear you, you're going through a tough time, that is so supportive. And it was literally my only place to go to. So, and to get the check-ins every week and to have the calls, the group calls, I get so much out of it.
Great. And there was also a point where I don't know if you noticed it for yourself, but I noticed in you where I saw that you were having intimacy fears.
Oh, you picked it up totally. Yes, I remember that.
And I think like it's amazing, sometimes we see other women who just so effortlessly create love, and we can have this side to us that goes like, oh gosh, like even for this I need help. Like, why can't I do this myself? I think a lot of people out there resist love coaching because they think it's like it should be the most organic and the most effortless thing. The thing is that our own habits and patterns that we have developed on the way get in the way. And if we don't have an expert looking at us, and if we don't have someone watching us objectively and professionally, we can just get stuck in that pattern, not recognize it, and reject the relationship, reject the love, and stay single. And I think you were very close to that point of rejecting him completely.
Very close. Yeah, when he was making an effort, and then I remember saying, it's not going to happen, it's never going to happen, it's not good enough. And I was really looking at all the things where it didn't feel enough. And I know you identified that, and actually turning my focus to how he is showing up, how he is doing stuff, was massive for me. That was a massive moment of, my God, he is there. But I couldn't have identified that on my own. I would have probably sabotaged it.
It's amazing, right? It's also amazing for me because I mean, I can understand that women have these feelings where they go like, why should I get support for like 6 months or a full year? Why shouldn't I be able to do it myself? But there are these, what I call make or break moments in relationships. And if a woman is not aware that she's in one of those make or break territories, then you can sabotage it. You can lose it forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would have done that because, and it doesn't make sense because I know I want the relationship, the marriage, the baby, all of that. And yet my actions were stopping that. I was pushing him away because I was scared.
Yeah.
That's all. I was just scared. And for sure, if we didn't identify that, I would have sabotaged it, because we can all only take so much as a person. I think as a man or a woman, someone can only do so much before we say that's enough.
That's enough. Oh, that's so true. I think one of the earliest things I realized when I was doing this work was that there is nothing like unconditional love in romantic relationships. It's only something that exists with our parents. The only unconditional love is from a parent to a child. Romantic love is conditional. Romantic love is conditional on you showing up with respect for your partner and he showing up with respect for you. And if you, of course, I mean, we all have bad days and we're imperfect and we have our insecurities, but if that is the only thing we're offering in our relationship, it will crack. Even the deepest love will crack.
Yeah.
So I think for you and your man, the love was always there. It's just those behaviors cracked it.
Yeah.
And now when we took away those behaviors, what was truly there is coming back, and it's gorgeous. So tell me, show us your ring firstly. Do you have it with you?
Oh, I don't have it at me at the moment because it's gone back again for adjusting. I have
Oh
a
God.
complicated laurel leaf ring.
Yeah. Oh, it's gorgeous. I've seen it.
He made it way too big, and I've got it back once anyway. It's there.
Well, I also have a ring that is really loose, but I've just decided to stick it in under my marriage.
Oh, under your wing, it can just stay there.
They're all too big. Well, that's how much he loves you. You know, the bigger the ring, the more the gold, and that's he's trying his best to be there and please you. So tell me, how is he different today from who he used to be?
Well, he's loving. I'm the most important thing in his life, the most important person. He lets me know regularly. Yeah, we're planning our wedding. I'm pregnant, which
Oh my God.
is so amazing because when
And you're pregnant at, please mention how old you are.
yeah, I'm 40.
She doesn't look like it, but she is 40.
And I, before I met Sami, and we were having difficulties in our relationship, I had a miscarriage. and I was 38 coming up to 39, and I thought that was it, because our relationship fell over and I lost the baby. And I just really thought, like, that's it, it's never going to happen for me. And then when I split up with him, I was almost making that decision that this might not be an option for me now, because the time you meet someone and everything, like, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But that's not the case. We turned it around, and so I'm so happy. It is like a miracle, because it happened just after my 40th. I fell pregnant. I'm just coming up to 12 weeks now, so I'm really, really, really grateful.
This sounds like a really beautiful, beautiful, inspiring love story. Kelly, you've invested a lot in my programs. You've almost done all my programs, and you were a private client, and you also did the inner circle for a full year. Was the investment worth it?
Yeah, it was so worth it, because you know what I realized? It's not about investing in my relationship, it's about investing in me. And I have grown so much personally from this program. So, for example, one thing that really I worked on was my emotional triggers.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think it's Soulmates Forever.
Soulmates Forever. Yeah.
You talk about it, and then also we did some of that in the private coaching. My emotional triggers were out of control, and that was creating distance in our relationship, problems, and upset for me internally, constantly firing off, you know, and constantly feeling upset, constantly feeling, you know, like a victim. So that was huge, and so many different elements, just being able to be more in my feminine, what that really means. Yeah, so it's
Boundaries, I think.
Yeah, what I want, being okay with what I want and saying that's what I want and I'm not going to accept less. So many different areas. So for me, it's like hugely worth it.
And what would be your one final advice to the women who are scared of investing in themselves and complain about the money being too much, or, you know, yeah, I mean, I do understand it's an investment, but I believe what it delivers in return is way more. I think just your ring is making up for the coaching. What would you say to someone who is in that space where you are struggling but not asking for help, struggling but not investing in the programs? What would you say to this person?
I would probably say is, if you carry on and you're a year away from now or 5 years away from now in the same situation, how would you feel when, if you can invest in yourself now and you're going to fix it within a matter of months? So, you know, do you want to be in the same situation you are now in a year, or in 5 years? I know I didn't want to be. So I think that's the real question. It's not really about money. It's about where you are and if you're okay to keep being there for a number of years.
Beautiful. How well said. All right, Kelly. Well, that is it from my side. Thank you so much for sharing your story. We are very happy for you. I can't wait for my invitation for it to go up on my wall. I have a wall, and I'm actually getting a new glass window built with all my marriage invitations and photographs, because I think that keeps me going in my harder days and keeps me connected with why I'm doing what I'm doing. So God bless your little family. Keep it healthy and safe. And thank you for doing this for us. It's very inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and thank you so much for helping me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, I love you. I did it with all my heart. You deserve every bit of happiness that you have today.
Thank you, Sami. Thanks, everyone.